Guys, hey, how is everyone doing? Okay, we are getting straight to the point today where it is no time for introduction because this is going to be a very short, quick video. All right, so how is everyone doing? All right, let's get right into it. So, why are we looking at this gentleman on the screen here? All right, so this gentleman here, his name is David Daleden. I hope I'm saying his name right. If not, it doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So this young man here, this Caucasian young man, his name is David Daleden, and he is an investigative journalist. All right, in the state of California. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to my screen here because I'm going to tell you guys why it is that we're talking about Mr. Daleden, if that's his name, whatever. I'm very bad with names. So Mr. Daleden and his partner, Xavier, I believe the other young man name is, he is being, he is actually suing Kamala Harris, and also he's suing Planned Parenthood and a couple of other folks. But he has brought a lawsuit against Kamala Harris. And we're going to get into why. Okay, we're going to get into why. All right, so that young man there, now I wrote my notes down because, I got to remember all this stuff. Okay, so Mr. Daleden, he was prosecuted by Kamala Harris. Yes, he was. He was prosecuted by Kamala Harris, and we are going to get into why. Why was he prosecuted by Kamala Harris? Hold on, let me share my screen there. Share my screen here. Right here. Let's go to the top. Kamala Harris conspired with Planned Parenthood as CAAG to prosecute David Daleden. Okay? All right. Just wanted to show you guys that for a second. So the young man there was prosecuted by Kamala Harris, and we're going to get into the why. Okay. So I'm going to reading from my little notes. All right. So he is currently suing Kamala Harris for illegally prosecuting him, illegal prosecution, while she served as the Attorney General of California. As we all know, she was Attorney General of California, right? So why did she prosecute him? Let's get into that. Okay, so during Mr. Daleden's investigation, as I mentioned, the man is a investigative journalist. During his investigation into illegal activities at Planned Parenthood. So Mr. David was conducting some undercover investigation into Planned Parenthood, little shady business that they got going on, right? And he discovered some things that the human mind shouldn't even think about, okay? And we're going to tell you what it is that he uncovered. So while he was investigating, so he uncovered that Planned Parenthood, among other organizations, are involved in obtaining and selling fetal tissues from abortion, aka babies' body parts. You got that right. Babies' body parts, fetal tissues from abortion, and a lot more, right? So he was prosecuted because his investigation revealed shocking content that California's Attorney General and the private party co-conspirators wanted to cover up. Oh, yeah, Kamala Harris. Oh, yeah, and Planned Parenthood. So while running for U.S. Senate, Kamala Harris had a secret in-person meeting with Planned Parenthood's executives in Los Angeles, California, right? And as a result of that meeting, 2 weeks later, Mr. David Daleden's home was raided by the California Department of Justice. So after this young man conduct his undercover journalism work and uncover this sickening thing that Planned Parenthood is involved in, right? Um, Kamala Harris and her team sent the California Justice Department to raid his home and confiscate all of his videos and whatever he found, right? Kamala Harris sided with Planned Parenthood and other corporations involved and brought charges against Mr. Daleden and his other journalists, co-journalist, Mr. Xavier Becerra, right? So let's read something else quickly. I'm not going to stay on this too long, right? Let's read something else quickly here. I'm going to scroll down here. Scroll down. There we go. Okay. So according to this article here, which is called the CaliforniaFamily.org, right? Scroll down. It says here that records show that Xavier Becerra and Kamala Harris both received donation from Planned Parenthood for their political campaign. I'm sorry. Xavier Becerra is not the other journalist. That is Kamala Harris's her little accomplice. So I made a mistake there. Xavier is not one of the journalists. Okay, so pardon me on that. All right. So records show that Xavier Becerra and Kamala Harris both received donations from Planned Parenthood for their political campaign. Okay, so Planned Parenthood funded Kamala Harris' campaign while she ran for office. So that's why she's able to have a little secret meeting with them and prosecute this man while he uncovered that Planned Parenthood is selling body parts and all type of fetal tissues and everything else. Disgusting, isn't it? Huh? And that's what you guys are. That's who you guys are loving and cheering on to get into the White House. Now, if that's not enough, let's get into another story real quick. But keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay. Kamala Harris have no problem with millions of babies being aborted every year, and their body parts are being sold. And she's prosecuting people for bringing all of that to light. This is a legitimate story. This young man is currently suing Kamala Harris. There's a lawsuit right now against Kamala Harris from this young man, and also against Planned Parenthood. So this is a legitimate story. I didn't make this up. Now, well, we're going to go into another story here. Let's share my screen again. Where is it? Okay. Some of you guys may have seen this young man here. Maybe you guys know who he is. Maybe you don't. Okay. His name is Jamal True Love. That's the brother there, right? We're going to get into Mr. True Love's story, and it's not long. I'm just going to share it with you guys, okay? Mr. Jamal was framed and spent years in prison under Kamala Harris's regime, right? Under her watch, while she and her team framed him and sent him to prison for years. Thankfully, he is now released from prison, right? He's now released from prison. Thank God. And he sued the hell out of them and he won. But let's listen to his story here for a second. All right, let's listen to it.
Never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for Sales murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged. That's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell people my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. You know, it's the closest thing to dying.
Jamal, I'm going to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truth We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the kind of with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. Now, this isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, and a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
The police were keeping files on you, and your brothers, and other people who were living in Sunnydale from a very young age.
They already had me labeled, because I'm in this community, as a potential gang member, potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wake up to the fact that, you know, things are set up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes.
It happened to you.
Exactly. There is
proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she was gonna understand where we come from, you know, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities. This is Hunter's Point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York, and also that's when my friend Sel Kuka got killed.
More than a year goes by and no one's been arrested in the case. You hadn't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, you know, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust, you know, law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. What's up, boy? I have a history of being around in the community, but that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. I'm like, oh man, I'll be out within 72 hours. They're gonna figure this out. They're gonna clear this up.
And then when you found out what the evidence was that they supposedly had you on, there wasn't much there. Can you describe what it was?
They had a woman saying that she seen me kill Sel. The second witness that they had really wasn't a witness at all. She said anything that the police officers wanted her to say, and they said that her recollection of the events was extremely credible. So that's what ultimately got the arrest warrant.
The District Attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris, appeared in the courtroom during your trial twice.
Yeah, the two times that Kamala Harris showed up to my trial was when I got convicted, and also when they laid down the sentencing.
When you saw her on the day that the verdict was handed down, did you take that as a bad sign?
It felt to me that she was well aware about my case, and she was there to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction. When I put in my appeal, the people that's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom. And now it's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years. That was 6.5 years that I spent in prison. But instead of me coming home feeling like I was a victim, I wanted to prove that I'm a survivor, and I will not let my story go unheard. I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for an apology, but some acknowledgement from her that she could have messed up would be, of course, that'd be huge. You could have made some mistakes. You could have missed some things. For me, it was a big miss. I had life in prison. I've met people in prison that was wrongfully convicted. I want my story to be out to provoke reform ultimately. Beyond that, I want to be able to be who I want to be. I'm an actor, I'm a musician, I'm a father. I'm more than this person that was framed. I'm more than this person.
Okay. So, good for him. He won over $13 million. Good for you, young man. Good for you. That's just one of her many victims, most of them being black men. Most of them. Because she don't like black men. Oh, no. That's why she don't marry one of y'all. For those of y'all running around, oh, Kamala Harris, she's black, her daddy, blah, 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 blah. She ain't even married to her brother. And she's supposedly black. But we're not here to talk about that, right? That there is just one of her many victims. That's what you want to get into the White House. See, what it is that you guys are planning on replacing one evil with a more even deadlier evil. That's what you're trying to do. You're replacing evil with evil. Because let me tell you the type of evil Kamala Harris is, right? She's a cop first, more than anything else. Kamala Harris is a cop. Her mindset is a cop. She think like a cop. That's what she started out as. Kamala Harris is a cop, and that's what you're going to be getting in the White House if she goes in there. And we all know that police department cops all over America hate one thing, and that is black people, preferably black men. You get her in the White House, and you think black men are being murdered now? You think our people are being murdered now? Get her in the White House, and you see how many black men she get her in there. Get her in there. So that's just a couple of her victims there. David is prosecuted for uncovering and bringing to light the distribution and sales of babies' human tissues and body parts, man. And this woman prosecuted him. Why? Because she's in cahoots. She's tight with Planned Parenthood. They're funding her campaigns. So she's tight with them, right? So she overlooked everything that they're doing. She didn't give a damn that they're selling babies crap, body parts and fetuses and all this stuff. That's the woman you want in the White House, right? Now, we're not saying, listen, we're not saying Trump isn't, well, we can't say that word on YouTube now. We get our channel shut down. We're not saying Trump is good. Let me say that because we don't want to say certain things on here, okay? What I'm saying is you're pretty much about to replace one evil with another, and an even worse evil, okay? Because Kamala Harris don't give a damn. She's trying to get up there, and she is going to step on whoever she can to get up there. You get her in that White House, she'll be thinking like a cop. She'll be best friends with the police department, and your black ass will be shot down, even worse in the street, locked up. Okay, you see what's going on out here? It's going to be worse. You get her in there. I kid you not. I kid you not. Okay. Thank God for that young man. He won a large lump sum of money. Let me, you know what? Let me go back. Give me 1 second. Let me read a little bit of his story. Let me just go down here and read something. So it says here, rather than investigate, right, the crime that was committed, there was a young man who got shot. His name was Kuka or something. And rather than investigate the murder, right, San Francisco cops tasked with solving the man's murder worked to frame Mr. True Love's as the killer within hours of the shooting. 24 or more people saw the victim died. Only a single witness agreed to talk to police, right? And she failed to pick Mr. True Love out as of a series of photos and identify someone else by name, right? Initially, that's what happened. But guess what happened? Police eventually coerced her into fingering him. So this young lady, right? She couldn't even pick Mr. True Love out of a lineup. And she identified someone else. But that was not easy enough. They wanted just an easy victim. So what they do? They coerce her into fingering him. That's what it says here in the article, right? So this young man was framed right under Kamala Harris was a district attorney. Let me go back to my screen. She was district attorney, and she helped send that man to jail. She was right there. You heard him say she was in the courtroom. She was in the courtroom, and she was happy that he was going to jail. And he's just one of her many, many, many black male victims. Now, I know some of you Caribbean raccoons, I'm saying the word raccoons because I can't say the other word, you know. Let's just remove the R-A and say the rest of the word, and y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, a lot of you Caribbean raccoons, y'all don't give a damn about American black men or black people in general. A lot of you guys, I'm not saying all of y'all, but a lot of you guys have this fake aristocratic attitude mentality where you think that you belong to the courts of England somewhere, you know, the Queen's Court or something. You know, you think that you guys are better than our brothers and sisters here in America, and you don't give a damn about what happened to our people here. What I'm here to tell you guys, you know, I'm sorry, our channel are being shadow banned, and there's certain things I can't say that I want to say and I can't say. So I got to choose my word wisely here. But I'm keeping it real, okay? A lot of you Caribbean folks, you think you're better. You think you're better because maybe life is a little easier in the Caribbean, you know, as far as we're not living around We don't see white people every day when we get up. You understand? We don't have to go to school with them. I've never had a white teacher in my life. All through elementary, all the way up to high school and trade school, I've never had a white teacher. You see, when I was born, I saw a black face, my midwife, right? My mom's midwife. So I don't, so I understand that you don't see, so we don't have that type, there's different oppressions in Jamaica. We don't have that type of oppression in Jamaica, right? There's different type of oppression. So I understand a lot of you guys, you think you have some, privilege than, because what it is with with y'all Caribbean folks, yeah, and I can say that because I'm from the Caribbean, okay? You see your brothers and sisters here in America through the eyes of Europeans. I'm gonna say that again. You raccoons from the Caribbean see your brothers and sisters here in America through the eyes of your oppressors. Yeah, you retain all of this thing that you see, all the images that you see about our people here in America. You regurgitate that. It's all in your mind. You know what you're thinking, how you think about your brothers and sisters here. You see, so you don't really care. The point I'm trying to make is you don't really care that Kamala Harris hates the hell out of Black American men. You don't give a damn about that. You don't give a damn about that because some of y'all don't even care about your own people here in America, right? So y'all don't care if she hates them. Y'all don't care if she hates them. As long as her daddy is a fake ass Jamaican, y'all just love her. And as long as she have long straight hair, because y'all hate your own hair, and as long as she don't have skin color like yours, because y'all hate your skin color, right? That's why a lot of y'all are bleaching out there in Jamaica. All this damn bleach that the Chinese is importing on the island, right? So y'all don't give a damn about that. You don't care. You don't care what she does. As long as you have this fake perception of a fake ass Jamaican in the White House. You know what? Anyway, I love my brothers and sisters. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I love y'all. You get that cop in the White House, and if you think our people are getting killed now, get her in there, and you see what happens. Talk to you guys later. Bye.